The WTA finals are underway, and Rybakina beat Anisimova very comfortably, 3-1. Also, Swiatek very comfortably beat Madison Keys, 1-2. I think that Rybakina, when she's at her top level, is the best player in the world. I listened to an interview in Croatian with Goran Ivanišević this summer, and he said that when she's at the top of her game, when she's at her top level mentally, that's where she has struggled in the past. She is the best player in the world, and I agree with this 100%. Of course, this is somewhat surface dependent. I would still say that Iga, even with a top level Rybakina, is still the best player on clay, no doubt about it. But on the other surfaces, including hardcourt and grass, I would give the edge to a top level Rybakina, who seems to have found her form late this season. She has currently the best serve on the WTA Tour and has so far hit the most aces. Now, speaking of the serve, I was shocked to see the new serve technique from Madison Keys. I recently made a video titled Tennis Serve Rhythms, and in this video, I demonstrate different rhythms and I talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each one. And there is a rhythm called the reverse lag, which is by far the worst rhythm, especially if it's combined with a pinpoint stance. Now, Madison Keys, one of the best servers on the WTA Tour. I was shocked to see in her match against Iga Swiatek that she has adapted a new technique, and it happens to be the reverse lag. Madison Keys used to have a lag serve. In other words, she would toss the ball first while the racket arm lagged behind. And now she has flipped this and she takes the racket arm up first. She tosses the ball up second. And she also happens to have a pinpoint stance. I was not too surprised to see that she was not serving well. She only held serve once in each set, serving a lot of double faults. I want to share a couple of things regarding technique in general, but more specifically serve technique. And when you have a shot that works well, that you have confidence in, that works under pressure, you shouldn't mess with that shot because you can ruin it. Patrick McEnroe was recently interviewed and he talked about when he was the Davis Cup captain, he was coaching Andy Roddick, and Roddick told him, "You can tell me whatever you want, but don't say anything about my serve." Andy Roddick has also talked about this recently on the Dax Shepard podcast, that he didn't want to hear any thing about his serve because his serve was so dialed in. Simply talking about it and trying to tinker with it could possibly ruin it. Now, let me share another story. Goran Ivanišević, one of the greatest servers in the history of tennis, when he was developing his game in juniors, he already had a humongous serve. And his dad, Srđan Ivanišević, would tell the coaches that Ivanišević worked with throughout his junior career that you can work on his game, but do not touch his serve. Same with Roddick. If it's not broken, why fix it? In fact, if you mess with something that's really good, you can only make it worse. Don't even think about it. So this is a great lesson for everyone out there. When you have a stroke that works, and most importantly works under pressure, is dependable, don't mess with it because you can make it worse. So it's absolutely mind-boggling to me why Madison Keys would change her great serve. Again, she's one of the best servers on the WTA Tour to a reverse lag serve. The only thing that could make sense if she's injured and has shoulder problems, maybe this type of serve can feel better. I'm not sure. But fact is that if you look at the greatest servers in the history of tennis, whether it be the WTA or the ATP, you will not find one serve that employs the reverse lag technique. What you will most commonly find is the lag serve. You will find sometimes the abbreviated serve, and also you'll find the up together serve. But you will not find the reverse lag because this is not a service motion that makes any sense from a biomechanical standpoint. Now, of course, once you get into that trophy position, all the fundamentals are going to kick in and you're going to be fine if you have a world-class serve like Madison Keys. So her serve is not absolutely destroyed, of course, with this new technique. But since she has a pinpoint stance, she can mess up her timing and her loading enough where she misses more than she usually does. And this might not necessarily show up in practice, but when you're on a match court with that real match pressure, this is where a wrong technique will show up more than it does in practice. And even if you look at WTA serves currently, the top 5 female servers in the world are Rybakina, Noskova, Alexandrova, Clara Tauson, and Naomi Osaka. And none of them use a reverse lag serve. So I hope that Madison Keys realizes that this is not working and switches back to her normal serve in the next match. And if she doesn't, she's going to be in a lot of trouble. On top of all that, this tournament is held indoors and it's also held in altitude, which should help her serve. And I actually thought that she was going to do quite well in this tournament, despite not having played that many matches. So hope to see the old Madison Keys serve come back very quickly.